Sorry, I'm not ready to talk to anybody yet. And I don't just talk to anybody, SM. In my room, I'm a teacher. This is a classroom. So in this room, I'm here to answer questions and to teach. I am not here to chat or practice talking with anyone. Okay? If you want to learn, then stay. Okay? But I don't wake up early just to turn on my camera and chat. Okay? And see, that's why I don't talk to people who say that. See, if you come to my room and you say, may I come on stage? I know you're not a serious learner. Because that's all he did. He said, may I come on stage? I said no. He left. So, yeah. So let's do this. I'm going to turn off the stage requests, and then you know that you can't raise your hand until I tell you you can raise your hand. And hello, Gaia. I'm fine. How are you? You had an interview, and the interview was a foreigner. Did your accent matter? I don't know, Agung, because I don't know how badly your accent. You know, if your accent is really strong, then maybe it matters, but maybe not. If your accent is clear, then it shouldn't matter. Okay? Oh man, I'm tired. Oh. All right. And hello, Nermal. You should ask me questions. Because if you don't ask me questions, then I can't do anything to help you. So if you're wondering, why isn't he saying anything? He's not saying anything because you're not asking anything. How can you get fluency? Okay. You can go read my article about fluency, which is right. Where is my art? There it is. This is my blog. It's free. That is an article about fluency and how to get it. All right? You want to learn vocabulary words? I have an article for that too. Nermal, you need to read this article about how to learn vocabulary. Okay? Sometimes sentences do not come to mind and I feel shy. You need to read the article about the first article that I just posted. The one that says fluency is a myth, comfort is the goal. That's the one you need to read, Ramazan. Okay? Radwan says, I've been practicing my English for a year, but I'm not confident yet. Can you tell me how to be confident? Radawan, if I practiced Arabic for 1 year, do you think that I will be confident? So what's different? Why do you think English is different? It's not. It's not different. When you learn a language, it's just like learning a musical instrument. There is no finish. There's no finish to any language. So when you start, when you say, well, I've been doing it for a year, but I don't feel good. A year is nothing. A year is nothing. Think about if you played violin for 1 year, how bad will you sound? Even if you work really hard, you're going to sound bad. So, how do you get confidence, Radwan? How do you get confidence? Who can tell me how do you get confidence? Can anyone tell me? Confidence comes with experience. Your confidence is directly related to your experience. So if you only have this much experience, you will only have this much confidence. Okay? So build your experience and you will build your confidence. Okay? Sometimes I ask people, can you ride a bike? And they all say, well, most of them, they say, yes, I can ride a bike. And I say, you're comfortable when you ride a bike now, right? And they all say, yes. And I say, but were you comfortable when you started? This is so basic. It's so basic. Okay? Hello, Sarah. Yes, you can address me as Teacher Mark. Angela, I don't have a specific topic when I teach here. When I teach on Hello Talk, I come and I answer questions. So if you have a question about English or anything, but mostly people ask me about English. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, confidence, public speaking, job interviews. Okay, so this is a class where you are supposed to ask me questions. That's why it says Ask Teacher Mark. Okay? So think about a question and ask me, and I will try to answer it. How can you go from intermediate to advanced level? Sima, that depends. Okay? English has A1, A2, B1, B2, and C1 and C2. So, every level of English is like a neighborhood. They're like neighborhoods. And some neighborhoods are small. And a small neighborhood is easy to learn quickly, right? It's just a few houses. It's just a small area. You can see everything. It's easy to learn. But bigger neighborhoods are harder to learn. They take more time. So if you learn a small neighborhood, that might only take a short time. But if you want to know about Tokyo, Tokyo is huge. It's a big city. So that takes more time. So A1, A2 are small neighborhoods and they don't take that much time to learn. B1 and B2, those are huge cities. B1 and B2 are giant cities. They take a long time to learn and be comfortable. All right? But another problem that many people have when they're trying to go from intermediate to advanced, the reason they struggle is because they don't push themselves enough in enough different ways. So if you want to be advanced, then you need to think about every level of language. Are you thinking about each level? Are you working on each level? Are you working on your grammar every day? Are you working on your vocabulary every day? Are you working on your pronunciation every day? Are you reading B1 or B2 or C1 level stuff? Are you listening to B1, B2, C1 level stuff? Are you trying to write or speak B1, B2, or C1 level stuff? Most of the time, you're just not doing enough. You have one book and you do that one book a lot. It's not enough. You need a book and another book and another book and an app and another app and another app and a video and another video and another video and a live stream and another live stream and another live stream and a podcast. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, next question. Yes, Radwan, you'll never see a confident baby because babies can't be confident. Babies have no experience. Confidence requires experience. Okay? Hello, Morty. What do I think the English language, why do I think the English language was simplified with many past tense and participle endings removed? Only a few dozen words remain, such as, where's the other part of that? Looks like it got cut off, Alexander. So when you say, why do I think the English language was simplified with many past tense and participle endings removed, give me an example and I'll tell you why. You have to give me an example so I can tell you why. English has so many different influences. There is not one reason why it was simplified. There are many reasons. But most people don't think it was simplified. It was only simplified from the Germanic and the Latin. If you're talking about the grammar, then yeah, English developed through Germanic grammar and then was heavily influenced by Latin, and Latin is one of the hardest languages in the world. That's why no one speaks it anymore. So please tell me what simplification you're referring to, and then I'll tell you why. What's the difference between sympathy and empathy? Yeah, a lot of people kind of get this one. They are related, but there is a difference, and it helps if you know where the words come from. So when you have, here's one simple way to think about it. Empathy is usually a two-person thing, to have empathy for someone else. Sympathy is not a two-person thing, it's a one-person thing. So it's almost the same. But empathy is usually, I understand you. I understand what you are going through. I have been there too. So I have empathy for you. That's two people. Sympathy is not necessarily a two-person thing. I have sympathy for you, but you might not know about it. So that means, so I'm sympathetic means I understand in my mind. It's a feeling of sorrow for another person's misfortune, right? So when someone dies, you send a sympathy card and you say, I'm so sorry for your loss. But when you have sympathy for someone's loss, you might also have empathy because you have also felt a loss before. So sympathy means you feel something bad because someone else is feeling bad. But empathy is more like a connection because you've been there before. All right? Or you can imagine it. At the very least, you can imagine it. But it helps sometimes to go back and look at the original meaning of each word. So let me do that for you. Sympathy comes from the Latin word sympathia, from the Greek word also sympatheia, meaning a fellow feeling, a community of feeling. So the word sin means together, and pathos means feeling. So sympathy means feeling together, right? Like, wait a minute, let me see here. So there is another word in English called commiseration. To commiserate. It's related to the word miserable. Miserable meaning bad, like upset, sad. You feel miserable. You feel terrible. So this word is actually related. But yeah, I think the easiest way to think about it is when someone dies, we send a sympathy card. Okay, so sympathy is usually the feeling that you have when something else bad happens to someone else. Okay, usually it's almost always a death, right? That's how we usually use that word. But empathy is a little bit bigger. It's a bigger term. Okay. Empathetic means to feel an understanding with someone about something. Okay? All right, next question. How can you know your level? There are many, many tests that you can take online, but the easiest way, in my opinion, is to talk to ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT, I want to know my level, and then write a lot. If you only write a few things, a few words, a few sentences, it won't help you. If you write 1,000 words or more, if you write between 1,000 words to 5,000 words, it will tell you your level. But if you write only 100 words, it's not enough. It can't tell you your level if you don't give it enough. Okay? Which level is this live? This live is for any level, really. Hello, Libra. How are you? What was my dream job as a child? I had a lot of dream jobs when I was a child. When you're a child, most children don't really know what a job really is. You think you know, right? I want to be a firefighter, but then you don't really know what that's really about. You just like the idea of the hero quality of being a firefighter. So what did I want to be when I was a kid? I wanted to be a lawyer. I think I wanted to be an architect at one point. I started playing music when I was like 12, 11 or 12, and by the time I was 16, I wanted to be a musician, drummer, and that's what I did. So I kind of did my dream job. Okay, next question. Ah, right. Okay, so go in the past is went and participle gone. Okay, so that's complicated to explain. Alexander, you do know that many English words come from many different languages, right? That's part of the reason why. Okay? So, for example, let's see. So, in terms of go, the word go comes from Old English, Germanic. And this word, how do I explain this? They took the past tense from a different word that was another common word, and they added it to the ending of go, or they changed it to be the ending of go. So, for example, go, the past tense of the verb go comes from the word wenden or venden, which W-E-N-D-E-N, which originally the meaning of venden means to turn. To turn. But they took venden and it became vend, and then vend became went. Okay? And it was just etymological word development, man. Alexander, that's what makes English kind of weird, right? For example, why do we have some words like children and women and men where the plural is this different form of en, right? But lots of plural words come from s. That's because English comes from different languages, and one of those languages uses an S. I think it was Germanic, uses the S, and the EN comes from Old English. So then you combine them and you get a little bit of both. All right? What do I like most about teaching English? I just like teaching because I like the feeling that you get when someone has that moment where they're like, I get it now. I understand now. I love helping people reach that moment, or I love helping people find their curiosity about things, or develop a curiosity about things. You know some slang. Slang is a singular and plural term, so you don't need to say slangs. Are English idioms and slangs used in written English? Okay, so Tara, I'm going to assume you're young, Tara. You don't need any slang. Just like when I learned Chinese, I don't need any slang. I don't need any slang to learn Chinese. Why? Why do I need slang? You need to decide. Are you trying to communicate, or are you trying to be cool? Most people who are learning slang, they just want to be cool. They're not trying to communicate. They just want to be cool. You don't need to be cool. Don't worry about that. That's silly. I just want you to learn the language. Learn how to express yourself. All right? So, English idioms are great to learn because they are very useful and many of them are very, very common. I don't teach any slang. I know all the slang, but I don't teach it because it's only useful like this much. Where can you use slang? You can use slang at the bar. You can use slang when you're hanging out with your friends. But everywhere else, you shouldn't use slang. So why do you care? Why are you so interested in slang when slang is so unimportant? Because you want to be cool. Don't worry about being cool. Here's the thing about being cool. As soon as you try to be cool, you're not cool. So don't try to be cool. Try to be yourself, and that is cool. Okay? Do I celebrate Valentine's Day? If I have a girlfriend, I celebrate Valentine's Day, but I don't have one now, so no, not really. No. I put the pink lights on. That's my celebration. Is it okay to ask me about my bucket list? I'm not old enough to have a bucket list. I don't have a bucket list. I don't have one. I do the things I think I want to do. Doesn't everybody do that? Germanic means old German. Kind of. Germanic is a word that a long time ago, Germanic, it's a cultural term. All right? So before countries, look, countries really were not a major thing until around the year like 1400, 1500. That's when countries started forming. All right? So before 1500, let's go back to 1100, right? The year, right? Let me just check my map to make sure. Yeah, so... Well, that's 1100, so I think I got to go back a little earlier than that. Let's go back to... Doesn't matter. The point is, a long time ago, early Europe, okay? Early Europe. We'll call it early Europe. The whole northern part of Europe, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, all of those northern countries, the northern part of France, all of that was called the Germanic area. That was Germany. But it's not a country. It was just a region. It was an area. Okay? So in that area, there were many different groups that were all considered Germanic groups. And some of those groups, they went across the water over into England. And they mixed with the people there in England. And that's how we started English. Okay, so that's why English is considered a Germanic language, because those people came from the Germanic area of early Europe and they traveled over into England, or before it was England, it was just that area, that island, and they mixed with the people there, and that's where English began. Okay? You can't make everyone happy. That's true. What are these origin of phrasal verbs and idioms? So idioms, most idioms do have a story, some kind of a story about why do we say this thing? Okay, where does it come from? So you can look that up right? Any idiom, whatever idiom that you are studying, just ask, where does it come from? All right? Almost every one, there's a story behind it. All right? Now, phrasal verbs are different. Phrasal verbs are what we call, or what I call, improvised language. So phrasal verbs don't really have an origin the way that idioms do. Or at least most of them don't, right? Like get in, get out, get on, get through, get over. Nobody really knows who said get over first. Nobody really knows who said get on first. Nobody has any idea who put those together first. All right? But we just know that they do. All right? Do I think English grammar is important? If you are taking a test, English grammar is important. If you're at school, if you are a student, then yes, grammar is important. If you are if you have a job, maybe you have a job where you use English, right? You use English at your job, then grammar is important. But if you are not at a job that uses English, if you're not taking a test and you're not in school, then grammar is not that important. I didn't say it's not important. I said it's not that important, which means that if you're taking a test about English, then you should worry about your grammar. But if you're talking to your friend at the store, you should not worry about it. You should just think about it a little bit. All right? There's a big difference. So, when you're taking a test, you need to care very deeply about your grammar. But when you're talking to your friend, you don't need to care deeply. You just need to care a little. All right? Yes, my hair's growing longer. I just don't care. I just don't care about my hair. Hello, Waleed. Yes, my ancestors, half of my ancestors were from Ireland and England, and half of my ancestors are from Slovakia. What's the difference between a goal, an aim, and a purpose? Sometimes nothing. Sometimes those are the same thing. But goal could have another meaning. Goal is what they say in football, right? Goal! That's a goal, right? And why do they call it a goal? Because you scored a point. You were trying to score a point. Scoring a point is your goal. It's your aim. It's your purpose. So, in most cases, those words can be interchangeably used. But in some cases, one word would be better than another. All right? So my goal is to learn Chinese. What's my purpose to learn Chinese? Because if I learn Chinese, then I can do this and this and this, and I can go to China, and I can talk to my Chinese friends, and I can, teach English more easily to Chinese people, right? So that's my purpose. And what's my aim? My aim would be sometimes aim is the same as goal, but in this case, aim is like right in between purpose and goal, where it's like, what's the reasoning for this that will help you? Like, why do you do this? How will it benefit you? That's your aim. And it really comes from shooting, right? When you aim at something, right? Or I should say archery. It's from archery. Okay? The ending of ED is a soft sound. Angela, there are 3 different ways to pronounce ED words. Wait a minute and I will explain them. Wait, maybe I have this on my desktop already. I think I do. Where is it? Here it is. Look at this. So, ED has three different pronunciations depending on how the word is ending, right? So if it ends with a T or a D, like the word want and need, want, id, needed, wanted, needed, id, right? So these sound like id. On these two letters, it sounds like id. But over here, if it ends with P, K, S, H, C, H, G, H, T, H, S, S, C, or X, all of these, it's a T sound. Helped, helped, looked, washed, watched, laughed, breathed, kissed, danced, fixed. Those are T sounds. But then these, if it's an L, an R, an N, a G, a V, an S, a W, a Y, or a Z, these are all D sounds. Called, cleaned, offered, damaged, loved, used, da. Okay? So take a picture of this screenshot here. Take a screenshot and you can keep this and practice it. All right? Did you get that? And Flavia, I don't know how long I'm going to do today, Flavia. I don't know. We'll see how long. I'm not doing level math books. No, I was talking about English levels. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. That's English levels. Ooh, what just happened? Where'd my camera go? Oh, there it is. Weird. Let's see. How can you prevent picking up other people's accents when communicating? Lucy, is that a big problem for you? Lucy, I would say you should try to pick up the accent of some people. If they have a good accent, then you should try to sound like them. If they don't sound good, then you just need to listen to it and say, they don't sound good. It's like playing a song, right? If you hear a song and you know it's played well, right, then you know that's what it's supposed to sound like, right? But if another person plays that song and they don't play it well, then you say, oh, I know it. It's not supposed to sound like that. I don't want to sound like them, right? So I always use the song Fier Elise to make my demonstration, right? So if I play the song well, if I play it well, great. It sounds good. I want to sound like that. But if I don't play it well, you say, oh, he doesn't sound good. I don't want to sound like that, right? So you need to make a judgment when you're listening to someone. Do they sound good or not? If they don't sound good, just recognize that, all right? Okay. Which one sounds better between the Embassy of China and the Chinese Embassy, the Restaurant of China and the Chinese Restaurant? So the first one, the Embassy of China or the Chinese Embassy, both are fine. In this case, Chinese Embassy is definitely more common. But those two, either would be okay. Because the Embassy of China is a more formal way. But it's a formal place. So that's fine. For a formal place, you can talk about it with a formal way. A restaurant, that's more of a common place. It's not a formal place. So at a common place, I'll use the common way, right? So I'll say a Chinese restaurant, All right? No one says, I'm going to a restaurant of China. I'm going to a restaurant of Italy tonight. I'm going to a restaurant of France. No, that's too formal and weird because you're talking about something that's very common. Okay? But an embassy, I'm going to the embassy of Russia. I'm going to the embassy of France. I'm going to the embassy of... Yeah, that's fine because it's a formal place. Okay? But both are fine. Okay? I am usually here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today is Saturday, so it's I'm not usually here on Saturday, but today is Valentine's Day, so I decided to do an extra stream. All right? Why does American English the official language instead of all mixed, mostly Spanish and Southwest? Man, Ahad, I would have to teach a history lesson for you to understand that. Okay? First of all, English was only made the official language, what, last year or the year before? You know? So it's not really, all right? For the entire history of my country, by the way, we have never had an official language until just recently. America never chose a language. Why did we do that? Why didn't we choose English? Do you know? Do you know why we did not choose an official language? Because we didn't want to. We didn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable when you come here. So we did not choose an official language. Because people in America are from everywhere. Okay? That's why. But it would require me to teach you, 2 weeks of American history and linguistics and language history for me to explain why we have Spanish, why we have English, why we have American English, not British English, why we have different accents in different regions. It would take too long, man. Sorry, that question is too big. Ellie, I cannot give you a plan to learn English because I don't know you. But Ellie, you can come here and you can learn here like everyone else. Okay, about 88,000 people follow me here on Hello Talk because I teach. All right? What does a paradox mean? Paradox is something that is, it's like two things that don't like each other, but they do go together, right? This is a fun word to look at, like the history. Paradox. Paradox comes from the Latin word paradoxum, which means something that seems stupid, but it's true. That's what a paradox is. So when I say something and you say, well, that sounds dumb, but it's true, that's a paradox. All right? So for example, let's see. I don't want philosophical paradoxes. I want common paradoxes. They're making it too hard. Oh, I know one. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Have you ever heard anyone say, less is more? Have you ever heard anyone say that? Less is more. Sometimes less is more. Have you ever heard that before? That's a paradox. When you say less is more, that doesn't make any sense. That seems absurd. That seems stupid. But it's true. We all know that sometimes we talk too much. We say too much. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is better. That's what it means. All right? So that's a paradox. All right? What grammar book do I prefer? There's a grammar book that I love called Basic English Grammar by Saddleback Publishing. Basic English Grammar by Saddleback Publishing. They have a book 1 and book 2. I have many grammar books, but that one is my favorite one. That one is the easiest one. That one is the best one to get through quickly. Okay? I'm glad that helped you with the pronunciation of ED, Angela. It's a little hard in the beginning. ED feels confusing because you don't know which one to use. But the truth is, most of the words that you need to use, they're common. So you'll get used to it, right? You'll hear talk, talked, walk, walked, right? You'll get used to it. Right? It just takes a little time. All right? Oh, man. Which is the best book? The best book for what? I don't know. And Michelle, you can ask me any questions about English? All right. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. By the way, I forgot to tell you, Happy Valentine's Day. Do you know where the word Valentine comes from? The word Valentine comes from the late Latin word valentius. Valentius, Valentia means strength. So, Valentine comes from the word Valentia, which means strength. So let's see. And the word Valentine is related to the word valence. If you are a scientist, if you study science, then you should know the word valence. Covalence, right? So valence and covalent, they mean, valence means strong, right? But there are many words that are related, like, what does ambivalence mean? While it is the name of a saint, but before it's the name of a saint, it comes from the word Valentia, which means strong. It comes from 2 saints, actually. There were 2. But the word Valentine comes from a word that means strength. Okay? But what about the word ambivalent? Have you ever heard that word, ambivalent? To be ambivalent about something. Ambi means both sides. This side and this side. That's what ambi means. Valent means strong. So ambivalent means both strong. So what that means is, if someone asks you, do you want to go to this restaurant or do you want to go to this restaurant? You can say, I'm ambivalent. That means this one is okay and this one is okay. I have strong feelings about both, so both are okay. both strong. That's what it means. Okay? To be ambivalent means I don't really care because I have strong feelings about both. That's the original meaning. Okay? Waleed. Again. Waleed. I know what it means, Waleed. I'm explaining what the original meanings are, and then I'm trying to get you to understand what they mean now. If I say I'm ambivalent, it does not mean confused. No, no, no. Okay? It means I don't really care in any way about this decision. Okay? The English definition is, I have mixed feelings. Why do you have mixed feelings? Why, Waleed? You have mixed feelings because you have a strong feeling about this restaurant and you have a strong feeling about this restaurant. So you can't decide. You're not confused. That's different. It's not confusion. It's basically like, I like them both. So I can't really choose. Okay? Because I like them both. Psychologically, it does have a slightly different meaning. Ambivalence in psychology is more like, well, it's almost the same. It means that you have positive and negative feelings about a person, a thing, or an action, right? So, ambivalent has two meanings. One is to have mixed feelings about something because you like them both. You like them both, all right? The second meaning of ambivalent is psychologically, you have mixed feelings, both some good and some bad, okay? But it's usually used in the first way, all right? And there are more words that are related to Valentine. So look, ambivalent, V-A-L-E-N. See, Valentine. Valentine, how do you spell Valentine? V-A-L-E-N-T. And look, ambivalent. Valentine, half of the word Valentine is in there, right? How about the word, how about another good word? Let's see. What about equivalent? What is equivalent? And Waleed, I never want you to feel, I'm not yelling at you, but you need to remember that if I'm teaching, then you need to let me teach, because you might be confusing people when you write something. Then the people will say, well, which one is it? Is it Teacher Mark or is he right? So that's why my name is Teacher Mark and your name is not. All right, Waleed? So for yourself, if you want to make those notes for yourself, Waleed, that's okay. But just don't try to be careful if you are trying to clarify, because you can't clarify if you are not clear. Okay? You cannot clarify if you are not clear. So, equivalent. What does equivalent mean? Equivalent. It comes from the word aquis. Aquis meaning equal, right? And again, look, it has the word valent in it. Valent. Equivalent, right? So, let's see. And yeah, the word valent comes from the word valere, which means to be worth something, to have strength, to have value. Okay? So there's equivalent. That has the V-A-L-E-N-T in it. How about the word invalid? Valid and invalid. You copied and pasted it into GPT. But see, look, Waleed, that's what I mean. ChatGPT is not right if you don't ask it the right thing. So if you copy and paste it into ChatGPT, ChatGPT is only going to give you what you asked. And that means it's not going to tell you the whole picture, and then you are not going to clearly understand. All right? So you can type it into ChatGPT, but in this case, I am far better than ChatGPT. In this case, my explanations of the words and where they come from and what they mean will be much better than ChatGPT. ChatGPT might tell you something that's correct, but not in the way you're asking. Okay? Not in the way you were asking. All right. What about the word invalid? What does invalid mean? Valid and invalid. Valid and invalid. What do they mean? If something is valid, then it means it's... Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, right? Valid is related to the word that means strength. Strength, again. So that means your point has strength. Your point has strength. It's valid. If it's invalid, then that means in means not. It has no strength. Your point has no strength. It's invalid. Okay, so again, the letters VAL, 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 they're all in there. How about another word? Prevalent. Prevalent. I know you respect me very much, Waleed. I know you do. I know you do. And I appreciate that you have so much energy and enthusiasm for learning. But just remember that in a classroom, most of the energy and enthusiasm should be coming from the teacher. This guy. All right? So the word prevalent comes from the word prevail. To prevail. What does prevail mean? If something is prevalent, it has superior strength. So it means before strong. But what does that mean? It means I got stronger earlier than you. So I am the prevalent one. What does prevalent mean in English? What is the prevalent language in America? What's the prevalent language? What's the prevalent language in the U.S.? English. So in this case, prevalent means the language that got stronger first. The language that got stronger earlier. Before strong. Prevalent. Prevalent. Okay, so that's what prevalent means. It means it's the main one because it got there first. So it got there first and it developed more. It's prevalent. Okay? And to prevail means to win because I'm strong. Okay? What about the word valiant? What is valiant? Do you guys know that word, valiant? It means brave. It means brave. To be valiant means brave. To have courage. Why are you brave? Because you are strong. VAL means strong. You're valiant. You're strong. You're brave. Okay? And what about the word valor? What about the word valor? Valor is a word that means honor, right? It's like honor of battle, right? So if you were a soldier and you won many battles, then you have valor. It means strength from valor. The original meaning of valor means value. It means value. So, but what kind of value? Value on the battlefield. Value as a soldier. Value as a fighter. So the word valor is a word that we talk about when we talk about soldiers have valor. It means they have value as a soldier. All right? Let's see. What's another word? What about, well, value. Value also is related to Valentine. The word value. What does value mean? To be valuable. And again, it comes from the word that means strong. If it's valuable, if it has value, then it's something that's strong. Okay, it's something that's strong. It's valuable. All right, let me think. I think that's about it. So all of those words that I just said are related to Valentine's Day. Valentine, the word Valentine, yes, it comes from a saint, Saint Valentine. Yes, we all know that story, although most of those stories are not completely true. All right? But the word Valentine originally comes from the word in Latin, valentia, which means strength. So the word ambivalent, avail, bivalent, countervail, equivalent, evaluation, invalid, valid, multivalent, polyvalent, prevalent, prevail, valediction, valence, valetudinarian, valiance, valiant, valid, valor, value, and wield. All of those words are related to Valentine's Day. Yeah, basically val equals strong. But you have to be careful, Ahad, because there will be some words in English that may have the letters VAL in them, but maybe that VAL is a different VAL. It's not from this root, it's from a different root. So you have to be careful about that. All right? All right, let's see. Did I miss any questions? Have I received or given any Valentine's Day gifts? I have sent out some messages just to some friends, just saying Happy Valentine's Day. That's all. But no, and I'm not a big Valentine's Day guy, to be honest. Yeah. So no. Wah, 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 wah. Can I use tell for direct speech? For example, these two sentences are okay. He said, I was on my way home. He told I was on... in that case, Hunis, we will usually say he said. He said. But you could say he told me I was on my way home. But if you're going to use the form told, then you need to use the word me following it. He told me. Okay? Or he said. He said doesn't need anything else. Okay? He told requires you to use the word me, right? The pronoun me. The origin of the name Mark is a biblical name. My name and many, Mark, Paul, John, all of those names are biblical names for the most part. Okay? Where does my name come from? It's hard to say because the word Mark, it has a meaning and it's a name, but the name is so old and so short that it's hard to know where it comes from originally. So the word mark itself comes from Old English, Old Germanic, Old Norse. So the original word was merk or markel, which meant a boundary or a sign. So the word mark was originally like you're saying this is mine, right? So you put a sign, an X, you put an X on that tree. That's my tree. I'm marking it. Okay, so the word mark means to make a symbol or make something that you recognize to say, this is my boundary, my area. All right? But now the word mark has a lot more meaning. It just means any kind of symbol that you make is a mark on the page. Okay? Can I give you some life hacks to learn a lot of words in a short time? Kind of, yes. I can tell you that you shouldn't memorize them because that never works. And I can tell you that you should read a lot because reading is the number one way to learn vocabulary. It's the easiest way to learn vocabulary. You just have to read. The second way to learn vocabulary is you can use something called a thesaurus. Go to thesaurus.com. Thesaurus.com is a free website. I'll show it to you here. A thesaurus is like a dictionary, but a thesaurus will tell you all the words that are related. So if I type in the word happy, you know the word happy, right? Everybody knows that word, right? But look, do you know the word cheerful or delighted or ecstatic or elated or enraptured or exultant or glad or gleeful or jolly or joyful or joyous or jubilant or merry or mirthful or overjoyed or thrilled or upbeat? Or blessed or blissful or blithe or content or contented or convivial or gratified or peaceful or pleasant or pleased or satisfied or sparkling or sunny or tickled? Or blessed, can't complain, chipper, chirpy, high, flying high, intoxicated? Like all of these mean same thing. They mean happy. They're like a family, all right? Words are like families, okay? So you might have a brother who's a twin brother, almost just like you. Almost just like you. But you might have an older brother and a younger brother, or an older sister and a younger sister, right? You might have cousins. They're not completely related to you, but they are related, right? So words are like that. Some words are the exact same thing, like a twin. Some words are like a brother or a sister. They're close. And some words are not exactly the same. They're like a cousin. Okay? Do we have to study all of them? No, of course not. No, you don't have to study all of them. But a thesaurus is a fun way to explore the possibilities. If you don't want to say happy, what could you say? You could say something else. All right? So, read is the one way to learn vocabulary. Using a thesaurus is another good way. Another good way to learn vocabulary is by topic. By topic. So, choose a topic like computers, and then do a search. Computer vocabulary words. Screen, monitor, CPU, hardware, software, keyboard. Those are all vocabulary words that are related to one topic. Sports, choose that as a topic. Science, choose that as a topic. You could choose a very small topic like shoes. It doesn't have to be a big topic, it can be a small topic. All right? And then the final way that I like to learn vocabulary is what we were talking about earlier. It's called etymology. Etymology means the history of words and where they come from and how they've changed over time. It's something that I have studied most of my life. So I love etymology. I can tell you where almost every English word comes from. All right? And if you know where the word comes from, many times the word has a cool story. And if there is a cool story about the word, it's easy to remember. So easy because it's cool, right? Or maybe you're learning all the words that have the letters D-I-S in front of them. Do you know how many words in English have the letters D-I-S in them? More than 300. I think it's somewhere between 300 and 400 words have dis in them. Okay? So, it's efficient. It's a good way to learn vocabulary because you can learn one little a root word, and that word will show you many others. Okay? What does fathom mean? Where did fathom come from? Fathom comes from Old Norse and Old Saxon. So these are, Norse is the early European, Northern European area. Okay, so like Sweden, Finland, Denmark. A long time ago, that was just called Norse. That was the North area. Okay, North. And so the word fathom, the original meaning of fathom, this is kind of interesting. It means with outstretched arms. So it's hard for me to show you, but yeah, it means like a hug, like I'm ready to hug you. That's a fathom. So do you know why? It was how they measured things a long time ago. So, I can't fathom something means I can't understand. A fathom was a measure of depth, like water. So when you're measuring water, 1 fathom maybe is this long. How long can you stretch your arms? That's 1 fathom. That's 1 fathom, this long, okay? So fathom is like a distance. So if you can't fathom it, it means it's too hard to understand because it's too far. Understand? And yes, those are symbols. I am a drummer. Even the most simple words sometimes have really interesting background or history. And hello over there in my YouTube channel. That's right. Yeah, hence it's currently used like, that's right. To fathom something means to understand the depth of something, right? Sometimes, LA, we say, wow, that's deep. That's so deep, right? Because in our mind, we think a difficult thing to think about is deep. It's got distance, right? So to fathom something is to understand how deep it is. How to become a drummer, you start drumming. I started drumming, what year was that? Let me think. Wait a minute. Um, 1987? I think it was about 1987 or 1988. I started drumming. Can I continue about root words? Sure, Jika, I can. Why don't you tell me a word or a root, and I'll tell you all the words that are related to it. Okay? What about indeed and itself, those two words, you mean? Where does indeed come from? Indeed, what is a deed? Do you know what a deed is? And yes, I am a teacher. What's a deed? A deed is an action. That's right. A deed is a thing you do, right? So when we say indeed, it's like saying in truth or in reality or in fact, okay? Because this action is a fact. That's what it means, all right? And then what was the other one you asked about? Itself. So that would be a combination of the two words, it and self, right? So you have to look at the separate words. It comes from Old Dutch, Old English and Old Dutch. And yeah, the original meaning of it is the same, right? The original meaning of it is just a thing or an animal that you've talked about before. It's a thing, okay? But then self, the word self comes from, again, Old English, Anglian, West Saxon, Germanic, Sylph, self, zelf, zelb, selbst. Let's see. And once again, the word self is so old, it has the same meaning. So the word it and the word self have not changed at all. The original meaning is the same meaning as it is today. There are some words that are like that. Yeah. Take care, LA. Come back anytime. What else? Do you have any other words you want to know about the root of? Jika, do you want to ask me some questions about roots? Tell me a root. Give me a root, and then I'll tell you all the words. Anyone? No? Give me a word. I'll tell you where it comes from. Come on. Dumping. Well, dumping comes from the word dump, right? To dump. So let's take a look at the word dump. The word dump, the original meaning of the word dump means to throw down. To throw something down is to, that's the original meaning of the word dump. It comes from Old Danish and Old Norwegian, dumpa. Dumpa means to fall suddenly. So, when you dump something, it's like you're carrying something heavy, and now you drop it. So, it hits the ground with force. That is to dump something. Okay? Era. Whoops. E-R-A. Era comes from the Latin word era, meaning measures that are used for calculation. Oh, that's interesting. It's related to the word ore. O-R-E. O-R-E. E-R-A is related to the word O-R-E because wow, that's cool. How about that? That is, see, now that's a cool story. Listen, the word era means a time, right? It's a time period, right? But the word era, E-R-A, is related to the word ore, O-R-E. And O-R-E means a kind of metal that you dig in the ground, like you're mining metal, right? Like copper, okay, for example. And the reason why the word era means a time period is because this says that in 38 BCE, that was the first year that they started taxing people. So in that year, they started taxing people with money that was an ore, and that O-R-E, it was money. So that's interesting. The word era is related to the word ore, O-R-E, meaning metal, because metal is what you use to make coins, money. And that was the first year that they started taxing people. So that was the first era. Okay? Splendid. Sure, let's look at splendid. Splendid comes from the Latin word splendidus, meaning bright or shining, gorgeous, grand, noble. So the original meaning of the word splendid comes from the Latin word splendere, which means to be bright, to be shining. So the original meaning of the word is almost the same as the meaning today. It's almost the same. Repercussion. Re means again. Percuss means to hit something. So repercussions means something is going to hit you again, meaning you did something bad. So what are the repercussions? You got in trouble. Now there will be punishment. That punishment is what's hitting you. Those are the repercussions. To percuss means to hit. Okay, rendezvous comes from Spanish. The word rendezvous originally means, it was a military word. It was in the army, to rendezvous. Rende means to present. and vous means you. So rendezvous means present yourself here when I tell you to. Okay? When we say rendezvous now, maybe we're talking about, hey, I'm going to go to the store and you go to see your friend, and then we'll rendezvous at the market later. That's how we use it now. Okay? The word rendezvous means to meet later somewhere. Okay? But the original meaning of the word rendezvous, it means show yourself on the battlefield. Okay? Or show yourself at this place when I tell you to be there, right? You should go there and meet me there. That's the rendezvous. Okay? And rende means to present, and vous means you. All right? Can I talk about going to a cafe and how to order? No, but I can give you a page that will. Hold on a minute and let me find that good page for you. What did I do with that? Let me just do another search for it. U.S. Here it is. This is a free PDF. This is a free PDF. Look. This is from the United States government. The United States government wants to help you with your English, if you can believe that. Although, probably the president needs to read this first, because his English is pretty terrible. So, take a look. Look, let's scroll down through and see what do we have here in this book. Ah, look, let me zoom in so you can see. What's this say? Introductions and small talk, talking on the phone. Or over here, what's this say? Ordering a meal, asking for directions at the doctor's office, at the post office. All of this is in this document here. Wait a minute, let's see. Look. Good morning, Professor Austin. How are you doing? Good morning, James. I am doing well. And you? All right, this is free. All right, I'm going to give this to you now. Get that. All right. Happy Chinese New Year. 新年快乐. Conscious. The word conscious comes from con. The letters con means with, and sire means to know. So conscious means you are able to know, or you can know. That's what conscious means. The original meaning. Okay, it means able to know something. Able to be aware. All right? Can you use the word whether to compare two ideas? Lucas, not that one. W-E-A-T-H-E-R, no. But W-H-E-T-H-E-R, yes. Okay? If you say, whether you go to this park or that park, you need a jacket. It's cold. Whether you go here or there. But that's a different word. W-E-A-T-H-E-R is about rain and sun and hot and cold. That's that word. The word you used is about the weather outside. The temperature, is it cold? Is it hot? That's weather. W-H-E-T-H-E-R is the word that we use when we're talking about comparing things. Yeah. Okay. Yes, there you go. That's right. All right, good. Do we have any more questions? Any more questions about English words? You want to give me a word? I'll tell you where it comes from. Dive. The word dive. To dive. Dive comes from the Old English word dufan, which means to dive or duck or sink. So the original word dive basically means the same thing. A long time ago, they used the same. The word was just spelled differently. It was it was pronounced dufan or difan, and it meant to jump in the water and go under. But the word dive is related to the word deep. They both go down, under. Valentine's we already talked about, Kathy. Valentine's, the word Valentine was named after a saint. Actually, it was two. There were two saints. But the word Valentine comes from the Latin word valentia, which means strength. It means strength. Okay? And there are many words in English that have V-A-L or V-A-L-E or V-A-L-E-N, and they mean something about strength. Okay? Promise, the word promise. Promise comes from the Latin word promissum, which, again, the original meaning of promise is the same. Pro means before, and mittere means to go or send or release. So, a promise, what is a promise? A promise is something I tell you, I promise you, I will help you, right? I promise you. So what that means is it was a pledge. Originally, it was a pledge of help, right? To promise. And the reason why is because it means if you need help, I will go forth. So promise comes from the word pro, meaning forward, and then the other word meaning to go, right? So if you need help, I promise I will go. I'll help. I'll go forward to help you. All right? Ong ong. What do I suggest to you for improving your English? What I suggest is you come here and study like all of these people do. I am here. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Teacher Mark. I am a teacher. I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have been live streaming here for more than 6 years. I have 88,000 followers around the world because I teach English here. I talk about reading and writing and listening and speaking and grammar and vocabulary and pronunciation and accent and confidence. I talk about everything that you need, but I cannot help you all now at one time. If you want help, come, watch, listen, learn. Come, watch, listen, learn. All right? I have a YouTube channel. There's my YouTube channel. I have a website. There's my website. I have a blog. There's my blog. Okay? The next word is chart. Chart, I think I remember this one. Chart comes from the Latin word, well, it comes from the word carta, card. Because what is a chart? A chart was originally a map. The word chart originally was a map, okay? It was a map. And maps are made on paper. So the word chart is related to the word card, and the word card is related to the word paper. All right, so the word chart comes from the word paper because what is a chart? It's a map, usually. That's the original meaning. Okay? To swear. That's a good one. I like this one. The word swear. To swear originally was from Old English sverigen, which meant to take an oath, to promise yourself to someone, right? So, I swear my allegiance to you. That means you're the king, and I swear I follow you. I think you're the king. You're my king. I swear to you. So guess what? The word swear is also related to the word answer. What is an answer? Answer is something that you say, right? That's something that you say. So here's what I want you to think. Before, we were talking about the word swear. So who are you swearing to? Who are you swearing to? Anyone? Who are you? You're swearing to the king. That's right. You're swearing to the king. And the word answer, the an comes from the letters ant, meaning before or in front of. And then the letters SWER means swear. So the word answer means to swear before the king, this is what happened. This is my answer. The king says, what happened? You say, well, king, I swear this is what happened. That's your answer. To swear before the king that you tell what happened. That's cool. Isn't that cool? I think that's super cool. Okay? The word swear and the word answer are related. You go before the king, in front of the king, and you tell the king what you know. That is an answer. To swear before the king. Right? I think that's cool. Oh, and yes, by the way, Esther, you were saying your name is biblical also. That's true. Yeah, Esther is also a very famous biblical name. Yeah. Okay, so again, yeah, this is my hobby, everybody. I love to know where the words come from. And sometimes the words have really cool stories like that one. I remember when I found that and I was like, wow, that's what answer means? Everybody, when they see the word answer, it's pronounced answer, but it looks like it should be answer. And everybody goes, why is it answer? Why? That's weird. But if you know the history, it's related to the word to swear. That's why. All right? And that will help you to remember how to spell it too. All right? Okay. Give me another word and I will tell you where it comes from. Give me another word and I will tell you where it comes from. 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek. 30% of English words come from French. 20% of English words come from German. We also have many English words that come from Hindi and from Arabic and from Persian and from Spanish and from Italian and from Chinese and Japanese as well. The word question, sure. Question comes from the Latin word questionem, which means, so a question is related to the word quere, query. A query is something that you ask, right? So the original word question comes from the word query, and a query is a question. That's the original word, to ask, okay, to inquire. Oh, excuse me. Bon appetit, that's from French. It means good appetite, good eating. That's what it means in French. Promiscuous, that's a good one. Let's try that. That's Latin. Promiscuous, okay, so this one is good. This one, pro, means, in this case, pro means, wait a minute, forward, and then the the miscuous comes from the Latin word miscere or miscere, meaning to mix something. So the word promiscuous means mixed too much. You've been around with too many people. You've been mixing around with too many people. All right? Okay, next question. Vow, oath, swear. What's the fundamental difference between them? Nothing. To swear is a verb meaning to take an oath or a vow. A vow and an oath are roughly the same thing. Okay, they come from different languages, but they mean roughly the same thing. Quiz. Quiz is a fun word. Quiz comes from hello. There it is. The word quiz, it comes from a long time ago when you studied the Latin language, Latin grammar. The first question that they ask you in Latin grammar is, quies, which means, who are you? All right, that was the first question of a grammar exam in Latin a long time ago. They would say, quies, who are you? And that's where we get the word quiz from. Okay? Actually, the word quiz also, a long time ago, the word quiz it meant a weird or strange or different person. They were quiz. That's why we also have the word quizzical. Quizzical means odd or different or strange or confusing because it's odd, different, or strange. So, next, let's see. Nymphetamine. Okay, so nymphetamine is what we call a portmanteau. It's a French word. Portmanteau means when you take two words and you put them together to make a new word. That's a portmanteau. So that is not a real word, Alejandra. That's not a real word. It's the name of a song. But they were just putting two words together. One word is nymph and the other word is amphetamine. And amphetamine is a kind of drug. Those are like methamphetamines, right? That's a kind of drug that makes you very, very have a lot of energy, right? And then the word nymph comes from Greek history. They had, it's kind of hard to explain, but it was an old mythological creature. But I can't really tell you what the name of the song means because that's not a real word. Okay? Where can you find the origin of these words? You can go to etymonline.com. Oh no, I'm sorry, I spelled it wrong. That one, etymonline.com, is a free etymology dictionary, and that's what I'm using right now. Okay? Waleed, to figure out how to do that, Waleed, you have to do some research, man. Go look online and read 10 sentences that use each, right? So your 3 words were vow, oath, and swear. I want you to go read 10 sentences that have the word vow in it. I want you to read 10 sentences that have oath. And I want you to read 10 sentences that have swear. If you read those, then you should be able to see how are they different, okay, by seeing how they're used, okay? Sugar comes from Arabic, sukar, Arabic, Persian. You know, Persian and Arabic are both old languages, so some words we don't know if it originated in Arabic or it originated in Persian because it's too old to know. Compound. So compound. Compound. Com means together and ponere means to place. So compound means to put things together. Right? That's what a compound thing is. It's something mixed together, right? If I make compound butter, it's butter, but I put something in it, like some garlic and some salt and pepper and spices. Now, it's not just butter, it's butter with things that are mixed in there. It's a compound, right? To compound. Banana. Banana is an interesting word. Banana comes from a West African language called Wolof. So the word banana originally came from Spanish and Portuguese, but the Spanish and the Portuguese, they were borrowing a word that they heard in Africa, in this language called Wolof. And the word banana that's what they called it. Okay, so a banana is from an African word. Lemon is also Arabic Persian. Marble and marvelous. Marble comes from the Latin word marmor or the Greek word marmaros. So marble comes from the original Greek word marmaros, which means marble. Okay, because remember, marble, we have been using marble for a long time. The Greeks used marble to build. The Romans used marble to build. So the word marble, if it's an old thing, then maybe the word is old too, and the word probably hasn't changed a lot. So the word marble comes from the original word marmor or marmoros, meaning marble. Congratulations. That's a good one too. So congratulate, con means with, and gratulare means to give thanks or joy, show joy. So congratulate means to give thanks or show joy with someone. That's what it means. With joy or with thanks, with joy, right? So congratulate, grat is related to the word gratitude. Gratitude, meaning to be thankful, right? And marvelous, to marvel at something. Marvelous comes from the word marvel, which that comes from the old Latin word mirabilia, which means wonderful things. So the old Latin word mirabilia means wonderful things. So something marvelous is something wonderful. Thank you, Esther. Take care. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, let's see. What time is it? It is 10 o'clock, and I have been here for almost 2 hours. Why do you feel there's a relationship between congratulations and Congress? Because there is. Con. The letter C-O-N. Not every word, but many of the words, they mean something together or with. All right? So in English, Waleed, there are hundreds of words that have the letters C-O-N or C-O. Hundreds of them. All right? Secret. Secret comes from the Latin word secretum, which, again, the SE means yourself, and senere means to separate. So what this means is a secret is something you know that you hide from others, right? So it's like a treasure. You have a treasure, and you're going to take it and hide it someplace. That's the word secret actually can be a verb. To secret something means to hide it. Okay? So the word secret means something that you know that you're hiding. You put it someplace that nobody else knows. Only you know. Only you know. Okay? Secret is originally from Latin. That's Roman. Yeah. Effective, ineffectual, okay? Effective comes from the Latin word effectivus, which means to be productive. So the word effective is related to the word effect, right? And effect, the E in effect comes from the letters EX. EX in Latin means out. Out. And the fect part, F-E-C-T, that comes from the Latin word facere, meaning to do. So, an effect is something that you did and finished, right? You accomplished it. It's done. That's the effect. The modern meaning of the word effect is something that happens after you do something. But the old meaning of the word effect means an accomplishment. You did something. Now that's the effect. Okay? Effectual is going to be related to the same. Let's see. Effectualis meaning accomplishment or performance. Yeah, those are they're related to the same word. Abhishek, the words flower, F-L-W-E-R, and the word flour, F-L-O-U-R, they're pronounced the same. To make bread, you use flour. I go outside and I pick a flower. They sound exactly the same. All right? Conquer. Conquer, C-O-N-Q-U-E-R. Conquer comes from the Latin word conquere, which means to search for or to win by effort. So yeah, the original meaning, let's see, com in this case means more, and quere means to gain or win or seek. So to conquer means to win. Congratulations in Congress. Are they from the Roman era? Well, like I said, yeah, because they're all related to Latin. So they do go back that far. But Congress has a much bigger word, or bigger meaning, right? The word Congress comes from the Latin word congressus, which means a friendly meeting or a hostile encounter. So it meant to meet with or argue with someone. So what is Congress? In America, Congress is the political group. It's a body of people. And what do they do in Congress? They argue, they fight, they talk about, I like this, we don't like the same things, but let's try to talk about it. Let's fight about it. So Congress, the original meaning of the word Congress, means to meet with and argue. Okay? And then congratulations, again, con means with, and gratulations comes from the word gratitude, which is from the word... Is it gratitudinous? Let me see. Gratitude. Gratis. Yeah, I'm sorry. Gratitudinem. Gratitudo. Gratis, which just means thankful. To be thankful. I'm grateful. Right? So congratulations is related to the word gratitude, which is related to the word grateful. Okay? And yes, they are very old. They go back to the Greek and Roman era. Accusation. Accusation comes from the Latin word accusationem, which means a complaint, to complain. So the original meaning is... about this lawsuit. A long time ago, the Romans, they loved the law. They had a lot of laws. They had a lot of they had a legal system, right? And they would sue people. And so a lawsuit basically was an accusation, was you did this. Now you're going to go to court and talk about it. So the word accusation means with regard to this thing that I'm angry about. With regard to this thing that I'm upset about. Okay? Fetch. Well, Alejandra, do you mean the slang word fetch or do you mean the original verb? Fetch has two meanings. Fetch has a slang meaning from about 20 years ago, which means like pretty or beautiful, but nobody uses that term anymore, I don't think. The original word fetch means to get. To fetch something means to get something. Fetch comes from Old English and Old Norse, feta, vatin. In the original meaning, fetch means to bring back or to climb. So, for example, the word fetch, do you know where the word fetch comes from? A long time ago, did you have water in your house? A long time ago, did you have water in your house 500 years ago? Anyone? No, you didn't have any water in your house. So if you wanted water, then you had to go fetch it. To fetch means to get. Okay, I'm fetching water. All right? Or, Alejandra, sometimes if you have a dog and you have a ball and you throw the ball, the dog will go get the ball, right? We call that playing fetch. I'm playing fetch with my dog. I throw the ball, the dog fetches it. He goes to get it. Okay? And the word, originally it means to climb a mountain, because maybe you have to climb the mountain to get the water. Maybe there's a stream, there's some water up in the mountain, so you have to climb to get it. So to fetch originally means to climb to get something. All right? So Congress is a kind of a paradox word gathering two opposites. So Congress now, it means that you get together and you talk. Sometimes you fight, sometimes you argue, sometimes you discuss. Yeah, okay? Can you get spelling of what? Mecca? What spelling? Oh, fetch. F-E-T-C-H. F-E-T-C-H. That's right. You had to go to the well to fetch some water, or you had to go to the river or to the stream to fetch some water. Jeopardy is a fun one. Jeopardy comes from the French term jeopardy, which means a lost game. All right, so the original word Jeopardy comes from the French word that means a game that you lost, or a game that has an even chance of winning or losing. So the word Jeopardy means that you are putting something at risk. It could go well or maybe not. 50-50. That's to put something in jeopardy means you are risking it. And the reason why is the original meaning is a game. It's a game that you play where you have an equal chance of winning or losing. That's jeopardy. Perspicacious, that's a great word. I love that word. Do you want to know the original meaning, or you just want to know how to say it now? Perspicacious. Let me. I think you just want the. You don't want the original meaning. You just want to know what it means now, right? Perspicacity. Is that correct? Power? You're not interested in the original meaning. You just want the current definition, right? Perspicacious just means you're smart. It means that you are disciplined about thinking. You have good perception ability. Okay? You have good understanding and perception. That's to be perspicacious. All right? Obfuscate means to make something unclear. To make something unclear. Ob means the opposite of or across from. I'm sorry. In this case, it means in front of or before. And then fuscare means to make dark. So the original word, obfuscate, it means to make it dark in front of something. If it's dark in front of me, then you can't see me. So obfuscate means to make something unclear. Okay? If you're speaking in a way that is not clear, and you're trying to be not clear, you're deliberately trying to be not clear, then you are obfuscating. It's kind of like lying in a way. It's like you're trying not to say anything true. All right? Eloquent means that you speak well. To be eloquent means that you have good words and you know how to use them well. Eloquent comes from the Latin word eloquentum, meaning, eloqui, to speak out. So the E in eloquence means out, and loqui means to speak. So eloquence means the ability to speak out well. And it's related to the word loquacious. Do you know that word, Power? Loquacious. He's a very loquacious person. So loquacious means you speak a lot. But they both have eloquence. Loque is in there, right? Because loque means to speak. So eloquence means to speak well, and loquacious means to speak a lot. Okay? Oh, excuse me. All right, guys, did I skip anybody over here? Hello over there, Majda and Effie and everybody in my YouTube channel, if you're still there. What does subtle mean? Subtle means something very, very small that affects something, right? And the word subtle comes from subtilis, I think, if I remember right. Subtle. There it is. Comes from the Latin word subtilis, which means thin or fine or delicate. So something subtle is something small. It's not huge. It's a subtle effect. It means a small effect. And the reason why is because it comes from the word sub, meaning under, and tela, meaning weaving a fabric. To weave. Okay? And... oh, no, that's different. That's a different word. Never mind. I was thinking there's another word related, but it's not. Yeah, so subtle is something that is very small, a small effect, right? So if I say, we changed our test this year. We changed our test and we made new questions, but there was only a subtle difference in the scores. So that means that last year we had one test. This year we have a different test. Last year, the average score was 90%. This year, the average score is 89% or 91%. That's a subtle difference. It's not a big difference. It's subtle. Okay? It's a small difference. It means something that's not... it's something small and delicate that affects something. Okay? To make it blurry purposely. Yeah, that's to obfuscate. To obfuscate is to make something unclear purposefully. Okay? All right, guys, I'm getting tired. And I think I need to go pretty soon because I have lunch with my friend, too. I'm going to have lunch with my friend later. And I'm looking forward to it because we're going to have Chinese food. I can't wait to go have some noodles. Rendition. I think that's French. Rendition. Probably French Latin. Rendition, French. Yeah, rendition. Reditio, meaning to give back. So the word rendition, it's related to the word render. To render means to give back or to restore something. So a rendition is your version of something that you started. So for example, let me think. Maybe there's a famous song, and you do a new version of this song. So your new version of this song is your rendition. Okay? It's something that you rendered. To render means to make. Okay? So a rendition means your version of what you made. Okay? Quintessential. That's a good one too. What does quint mean? Quintessence. So the word quintessential is related to the word quintessence. And the word quintessence, quint means 5 or fifth. And the original meaning of this is in Greek. Let me see. What were they again? Earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Those are the 5 things. So quintessential. Quint means 5. Essential means needed, right? The most important things, right? So in Greek history, the Greeks believed that the whole world, everything in the world, was made from earth, water, air, fire, or something they called ether. Ether was like this other thing, okay? Another kind of element, all right? And so when you say something is quintessential, you're saying that it's like it has all the elements of the earth. So it means it's like the most perfect example of something because it has all 5 qualities. Okay? It's the most perfect example because it has all 5 qualities. It just means really important or most perfect example. Okay? All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to go, but I'll be back on Monday. Okay? And I'm usually here Monday through Friday, and I usually teach. But do you know the secret of being a great teacher? Do you know what the secret of being a great teacher is? You cannot be a great teacher without one thing. A teacher cannot be great unless they have great students. A teacher is just a teacher unless they answer questions well. And questions must come from you. So, if you want me to be a great teacher, then you must ask me great questions. How can I learn English? That's not a great question. How can I be better? That's not a great question. How can I be fluent? That's not a great question. All right? So, I cannot be a great teacher unless you ask me great questions. Okay. So, I will see you guys next time on Monday. Have a good Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. It's just a day. Don't worry about it. All right. Okay, come back and see me on Monday. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.